Tom Brady and Cam Newton are two focal points of the National Football League, and going into this season, once again, they're both going to be high up on the potential MVP list. The odds will forever be in their favor, which is kind of a Hunger Games reference. I only saw the first movie.
It's not kind of, it definitely is a Hunger Games
reference. I've only seen the first movie.
We don't know. Watch the rest of them.
Yeah, but I can't get into this because I have such a anger towards the end of that first book compared to the other ones. Regardless, Jennifer Lawrence, also the real MVP. Tom Brady versus Cam Newton. The question here, though, is would you rather have Tom Brady leading your team right now, 2016, or Cam Newton?
It's such a nice question to be asked because the recent would you rather that I get hit with on Twitter was would you rather Donald Trump or Boris Johnson? I was like, that's just the worst. I'm fucking drowning or I'm getting set on fire.
Would you rather have Cheetos dust? No, we're not getting into that again.
All right. But going into next season, right, let's be straight. Let's be frank, Joe. I love Cam Newton. I stood up from all last season. It's a saying in Scotland. Okay. Let's be frank, Joe. I love Cam Newton. I loved what he stood for last season. One of my favorite clips to watch of myself and Jason and JR last year was the points we made on why Cam Newton is scrutinized. And you should watch that clip and you should understand that there is a reason why Cam Newton is scrutinized in comparison to any other quarterbacks. It's very obvious. But I still think that you're going to go with a man who's been there and done it. And Cam Newton hasn't done it yet. And I still think that if you're going to pick someone next season to count on what they're going to return you in terms of a championship, in terms of success, it's going to be Tom Brady. The guy's got a bit between his teeth. He is not happy. Neither is a lot of the New England Patriots. Neither is a lot of fans from New England.
Correct.
Because of what has happened with, dare I say it, Jason, don't go all Ben Affleck on me, but Deflategate.
I was going to say, you also have Ben Affleck in your corner if you choose Tom Brady.
So, okay, it's all dependent on how New England respond to that. Like, it's going to obviously affect their season. But when you've got a coach like they have and you've got a team like they have, I'm going to still count on them. And I'm going to still count on Tom Brady to potentially lead them back to where they're expected to be next season.
Oh, okay.
You see my point? You're gonna raise
points. It? I'm alongside LeBron. I'm a Tom Brady apologist. Far too early NFL poll. Would you rather have Tom Brady or Cam Newton as your starting quarterback, which is on the Jason Twitter? I actually thought it was going to be more in favor of Cam Newton, given that we have a younger audience, and I think I have a younger audience on Twitter. So I thought they'd be all on the Cam Newton train, not on the Tom Brady train. I thought Deflategate would affect that 53%, so not much. 53% say Tom Brady they'd rather have as their starting quarterback. But at TinMan45769 said neither, Brian Hoyer. So I forgot to mention Brian Hoyer should be in there. So 53% of the Twitter audience believes that Tom Brady should be their starting quarterback. Well, Tom Brady has proven time and time again. We're also talking about, and I really love this, like the argument against this one, we're talking about the greatest quarterback in the history of football.
Yes.
So this guy has proven he's ageless in terms of his numbers. I also have some of the numbers. So let's go to Brady versus Newton in terms of the numbers of last year, because really it's remarkable that Brady at 53 years old is able to do this, and Cam Newton, of course, has always been has the legs to improve his game as well, the rushing side of things. But the ones that stand out, his passing yards, Brady stands out by about 1,000 more, but yards per attempt is a better insight into how efficient you really are. And Cam Newton's got him by 0.2, 7.8 to 7.6 yards per attempt. Touchdown passes, they were even. Interceptions, they were neck and neck. Completions for first downs, they were pretty close as well. Time sacked shows that their offensive lines were pretty good last year, not that many. And if we go to the second card, you'll see a couple more things in terms of, I was going to say the rushing. I was looking at the rushing. Where is that one? Passer rating, carries,
1.6, yeah.
Rushing yard. Yeah, he's got a 4.8 rushing average, which is better than half the running backs in the league.
He's 636 yards rushing.
I thought you were going to say 636 yards.
No, per play? Well, with Cam Newton, I would not be surprised.
I thought you were going to be like, he's 636 pounds. What do you think is going to happen?
The guy's like a running back.
So I want to throw in a curveball.
A Steve curveball. Throw me a Steve curveball.
I think a lot of it comes down to how structured your offensive line is.
I was going to say that.
Because you can put, in today's, the quarterback is so important in the NFL. Like, it has been proven time and time again that if you don't have an elite quarterback, and if the only way to really hedge that, and it's not even in your favor, is to have, like, one of the top 10 greatest defenses of all time, right? So, like, the Denver Broncos, there was an old Peyton Manning who still was able to get the job done, but he had a great defense. But for the most part, if you look back at the quarterbacks that have won in recent years, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger's, you need an elite quarterback, but they've almost always had an elite offensive line. So my decision in choosing Tom Brady over Cam Newton isn't because I think Tom Brady in 2016, 2017 will be a better quarterback, because I think he's going to have a better offensive line.
Yeah, I agree.
And therefore, I'm going to go with who's going to get sacked less. Cam Newton does have a LeBron James quality. And the fact that he is a freak athlete so much that his body, how he takes care of it, his training method, whatever you want to call it, he doesn't get injured.
Yeah.
At least last season and the season before. So, and it's football, man. Any sack, any wrong turn, any twist of the ankle, you can be Robert Griffin III, or you can end up being an MVP like Cam Newton. So I think Cam Newton's the exception to the rule of rushing quarterbacks just because he's a LeBron James-esque build.
Well, I was going to say he's the exception to the rule in my reasoning as to what people are going to expect from him next year. People expect...
the bar's raised.
The bar's raised, but could you not say that about during the regular season? The guy came out the block so quick that teams... no other sport in the world watches more tape and studies another team more than football. They studied Cam Newton. Teams studied Cam Newton.
True.
It took a Denver Broncos defense, arguably considered one of the best defenses we've seen. Why am I saying defense? Francis, get out your football mind. One of the best defenses we've seen.
What's the defenses?
No, I just like defenses. I don't like the whole different. You can't say defense and then call him the Secretary of Defense. Choose one. Either way.
Von Miller, the Secretary of Defense?
Either way, when you're the Denver Broncos and you have one of the best defenses, and that's what it takes to shut down Cam Newton, yes, you can make that argument. But I think that even so next season, teams are going to be watching Cam Newton. They're going to be after Cam Newton because everything that he stood for last year, dancing
He's
around.
not dabbing no more. Remember that.
We'll come up with something else, I'm sure. They're going to be out to get him, but I would still stack my chips for Cam Newton because I still think that he's, as you mentioned, he's a freak athlete. It takes a lot to bring down a man like that, and it takes a lot to kind of, I would say, oppose what he stands for. Because he doesn't like to play the system the way every other team likes to play it. The guy plays football the way he wants to play it, and that's what I respect about him. But as Dan was saying there, take the suspensions out of everything, right? So take away the fact that Tom Brady is going to miss parts of the season. I'm still going to go with Tom Brady. I'm still going to go with the best quarterback of all time. I'm still going to go with someone who I think, whatever way your offense pans out, whether it's going to be, I would say he's going to throw more, or whether he's going to even consider short passes and allow for his running backs to do more so, I still fancy Tom Brady to overcome adversity more than I fancy Cam Newton.
All right, make sure to comment below. That's a tough question, though. Do you take Cam Newton? You have a draft. Are you taking Cam Newton as your quarterback or Tom Brady? You can't choose any other quarterback in this situation, so don't try.
Here's a better question, really quick towards the end. Fantasy football team, who are you taking for your fantasy football points?
Oh, God.
I would say Cam Newton because he's running points, right? Yeah. You don't get points you do get points for passing yards, but running points are more valuable.
Todd Gurley.
Cam also gets long touchdowns.
Yeah. 40-plus points.
Brady now doesn't throw the long balls.
You can tell which one of our TYT sports crew is the more fantasy football enthusiast.
Taking Todd fucking Gurley.
Nice.
Okay, like, favorite, subscribe, comment below with what you think about Newton versus Brady. At Francis_Maxwell, at Tracer91. We're on Facebook, we're on Watchable, we're on Pluto, we're on other planets, I guess.